The 2023 fixture has been released for the AFL finally. It's taken that long of a wait. I've been refreshing my browser, scrolling to find the fixture, and finally it's been released now on the Age only like 5-6 minutes ago. So yeah, today's video, we'll take a look at all the rounds and games. I'm really looking forward to this to see who the Saints play, because of course I'll try and be going to as many games as I can next year. So it's good that the fixture's out now. I can sort of plan early on some interstate trips. We'll start off the fixture with round one. As you can see, it has been already released like a few days ago. So I'm not going to be going through these games into too much detail, to be honest. Richmond, Carlton, Geelong, Collingwood, North, West Coast, Port, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne Bulldogs, GWS, Adelaide, Hawks, Essendon, and the Saints and the Dockers. So a few key things to point out about round one. Every Vic team plays in Victoria, and also there aren't any games in Western Australia at Optus Stadium because of the fact that there's an Ed Sheeran concert. So yeah. We head to round two now, and yep, there we go. All right, so I thought for a second it might not have actually been, updated or confirmed, but we've got round two, so this is as confirmed as it can be. And we kick off Thursday night with Carlton and Geelong at the MCG. Brisbane play the D's at the Gabba. Collingwood play Port Adelaide at the MCG. Adelaide, Richmond, Freo, North. The Saints get a primetime game. I'm actually happy about that. That's at Marvel, and I think all these times are local time. So Freo v North Melbourne will not be played 4:30. It'll be a 7:30 clash, of course, due to the fact that Perth are a few hours behind. Sydney v Hawthorn, West Coast, GWS, and Essendon Gold Coast round out the round for round two. Let's take a look at round three, and the Dogs, they get another primetime. What's with the Dogs and all these primetime games? I don't know if they deserve them all. They got the Lions this time Thursday night at Marvel. This is a good game. Collingwood v Richmond at the MCG. Hawks v North at Utahs. GWS v Carlton, the Giants. Port v Adelaide, a showdown. And this is one of the most intriguing fixtures, I think, of the whole season. I already know about this because it was released a couple days early, but St Kilda play Essendon at the MCG as part of St Kilda's 150th year anniversary. The last time these two sides played off at the MCG was way back in 2006. We head to round four now, and as of so far, the Saints are yet to play interstate, and this is the Easter round of footy. I sort of hope the Saints don't play interstate on the Easter round, to be honest. We kick off the traditional matchups with the Lions and the Pies Thursday night at the Gabba, Easter Thursday clash. And it has been confirmed a few days ago, a bit of a rumour is that the Dogs are no longer playing Good Friday matches, and this is confirmed right here. North Melbourne take on Carlton at Marvel Stadium. We have a look at the Saturday matchups, Adelaide v Freo, Richmond v Western Bulldogs, the MCG. That's a bit of a strange time slot for an MCG clash between those two sides. The Swans play the Power at what I'd presume to be the SCG clash. And interesting, very interesting, the Saints play the Suns Saturday night at Marvel. Could that be the Channel 7 game? Essendon play the Giants at Marvel, West Coast v Melbourne at Optus. So a couple of lesser games on the Sunday for the Easter games, and then we see Geelong and Hawthorn, of course, for the Monday games for Easter Monday. Now, round five, this is the gather round, the magic round. I already went through all these games in a lot more detail in my previous video. So if you want to go and check that out to see, my full take on magic round or gather round, you can watch the video. I'll put in the description. That was yesterday's video. But we've got Adelaide v Carlton, Freo v Gold Coast, Sydney, Richmond, North Brisbane, Essendon, Melbourne, Port Bulldogs, Geelong West Coast, Hawthorn Giants, and Saints v Collingwood. So we play the Pies' last game of the round. Obviously, every game this round is going to be played in Adelaide, and I'll be there hoping to attend as many games as possible. We'll look at round six, and the Dockers, they kickstart with another primetime against the Dogs. The Dogs don't deserve all these primetime games. The Power, they play the Eagles. Oh, I just realised this is the Anzac Day round as well. The Giants and the Giants and the Lions. Geelong v Sydney at GMHBA, so the grand final rematch in round six. I thought for some reason the games at GMHBA would be delayed until the renovation. I think the renovation will be finished round 15, so surprised that it's a round six Geelong game against Sydney at GMHBA. Hawks play Adelaide at Utahs. Normally that's actually played on Anzac Day, so they obviously must have another game on Anzac Day as well. Carlton v St Kilda at Marvel. All right, the Saints are yet to travel interstate or play an interstate side in their home territory up until round six. The Suns and North, an irrelevant game. Melbourne v Richmond. And okay, only the one standalone game on the Tuesday. And I think I like that, to be honest. I think you just have the one game for the Anzac Day, and that is Collingwood v Essendon. Round seven, and the Saints. We finally have a home game at Marvel against the Power, and it's going to be a Friday night fixture. Can you believe that? I'm actually quite surprised that they've given the Saints any Friday night games at all. We play the Power, so that's an interesting matchup for sure. The Lions play the Dockers, Swans v Giants in the Derby. The Bulldogs play the Hawks at Marvel, West Coast and Carlton at Optus, and Melbourne and North Melbourne at the MCG. A strange fixture. If that is a Channel 7 game, that'll be very strange, to be honest. We see the Sunday games, and Essendon play the Cats at the MCG, Richmond and Gold Coast at Marvel. I don't mind that fixture because that's going to be the Channel 7 game. I think Suns will be an upcoming side. And then we've got Adelaide and Collingwood Sunday for the last game of the round. So far, the only trip we'll be making is to Adelaide, and we've gone to round 8. Let's see if the Saints play an in-state game in this round. The Blues and the Lions battle out at Marvel, Richmond and West Coast to the G, Geelong and Adelaide at GMHBA, the Suns and Melbourne, Freo and Hawthorn, the Giants and the Dogs at Monica. And then we see the Sunday games. We've got Port and Essendon, Collingwood and Sydney for the first time since 2013 at the MCG, mind you. And then we've got North Melbourne and St Kilda at Marvel. So it's good that we're playing some easier sides to start off the round. The Friday games here, we've got some interesting matchups. For starters, we've got Richmond and Geelong at the MCG. That'll be the Channel 7 game. West Coast and Gold Coast at Optus. That is quite strange. Sydney play Freo at the SCG, North and Port at Blundstone, Hawthorn play Melbourne at the G, Brisbane and Essendon, and Carlton and Bulldogs, I imagine, will be the Channel 7 game. And for the Sunday clashes, Adelaide play the Saints. This will be the 1:10 afternoon clash, so I'll make my second trip to Adelaide, hopefully for this one. And the Pies play the Giants at the MCG. So I think this is Mother's Day weekend. So, sorry, Mum, but unless you want to come up with me, I'm not spending Mother's Day with you because I'll be most likely going to this game. We head to round 10. Port v Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval, North v Sydney at Marvel. The Bulldogs play Adelaide at Mars. That's the first game at Mars Stadium. Freo v Geelong, Brisbane and Suns. Wow, Brisbane and Gold Coast in the Q Clash, round 10. That is very late. Very late to have the first Q Clash in round 10. And then this is, I just realised Indigenous round. This is Essendon v Richmond at the MCG. And then we've got a second back-to-back interstate game for the Saints here. Hawthorn and West Coast. Carlton v Collingwood. Why whenever Carlton play Collingwood, the Saints play at the same time? I want to actually watch a Carlton-Collingwood game. But this will be at Giants Stadium. So I've been here before. I'll plan on going there again. We head to round 11 and the Swans kick off the second of the Indigenous rounds at the SCG against Carlton. How many primetime games are they having, the Blues? Saints play Hawks at Marvel. Melbourne v Freo at MCG. Geelong v GWS at GMHBA. The Eagles play Essendon at Optus, and I'm assuming this will be a Channel 7 game. The Suns kick off the first game at TIO Stadium for the year against the Western Bulldogs. And then the Sunday games, Richmond and Port Adelaide battle it out. Collingwood and North. That'll have to be the Channel 7 game, and that'll be played at Marvel against North. That's quite weird. And the last game of the round will have Adelaide and Brisbane. We head to round 12. Melbourne play Carlton at the MCG on the Friday night. Port play Hawthorn. West Coast beat Collingwood. Gold Coast play Adelaide at TIO, so a second TIO stadium game back-to-back. And the Dogs play the Cats at Marvel. The Giants play Richmond on the Sunday, and Essendon play North. So this will be the start of the bye rounds. I was going to say, where the hell were the Saints? We head to round 13, and oh, there we go. The Saints play a Thursday night game at Sydney. That is, I don't know if I want to play Sydney again in Sydney. I went there last year, and it was a tragic game of footy, I'll tell you that. This will be another primetime game. We play them on a Thursday night, so there you go. The Dogs play the Power at Marvel on the Friday night. And then we've got Hawthorn and Brisbane, Adelaide and West Coast. And I'm assuming this will be the primetime game. Fremantle will be Richmond. The Sunday games got North and GWS, Carlton and Essendon, and Melbourne and Collingwood. So the Sunday night, there's going to be a Sunday night game before the Monday Queen's Birthday game, which would be quite interesting. And I'm not too sure, are they going to name it the Queen's Birthday Clash or the King's Birthday Clash? I've got no idea, but that'll be the Monday game right there. The big freeze game. We got to round 14. Port Adelaide play the Cats on the Thursday night. Brisbane and Sydney. That'll be a good game at the Gabba. We got GWS v Freo, Richmond and the Saints. There we go. Another prime time. We'll probably get smashed in it though. Carlton and Gold Coast and North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs to round out round 14. Round 15. We got Geelong and Melbourne at GMHBA. The Saints get another Friday night game. Let's go. Saints v the Lions at Marvel. Sydney and West Coast at the SCG. Freo and Essendon at Optus. And the last of the bye rounds, we've got Collingwood, Adelaide, and Gold Coast and Hawthorn. Only? No, there's 6 games. All right, I thought there were 5 for a second there. Round 16. So these are now rolling fixtures. So we don't know when these games are going to be played. We don't know the time slots or anything like that, or the dates or anything like that. We've just got the games, so we won't go into as much detail in the round 16 to round 24 games. We see the Eagles play the Saints, the Bulldogs play Freo, Sydney v Geelong. Melbourne v GWS at Teo Tracker Park, but unless there are any alarming matchups, I'm not really going to go through them too much. That'll be a good game, probably a prime time, maybe that one as well. So the Saints, for a Saints fan, I'll be going to Optus Stadium, I guess, during this week. Hopefully it's during school holidays. The next round, we've got the Dogs and the Pies. Saints play the D's at Marvel. Freo v Carlton at Optus. Geelong, I think, play their second or third game at GMHBA against North. That'll be a smashing. Brisbane West Coast at the Gabba. Round 18, West Coast and Richmond at Optus. Sydney v Western Bulldogs at the SCG. Another game interstate, but I'm actually quite glad it's at Metricon because I've not been to a Metricon Stadium game against the Saints in quite a while. I've been there before, but like recently we just don't really play in there. Well, not that I'm aware of anyways. Carlton v Port Adelaide, Adelaide v GWS, Melbourne, Brisbane, North, Hawthorn, and Sydney v Bulldogs. So they're the matchups, the Giants. Oh, there we go. The Cats play the Bombers at GMHBA. They don't often play there, I'll tell you that for a fact. Round 19 and the Saints play North at Marvel. We can lock it in that won't be the Friday game, let me just tell you that. Richmond, Hawthorn, Port v Collingwood, Melbourne, Adelaide, Giants, Gold Coast in an irrelevant clash. There's a reason why they have that in Canberra because like there's no point in having it at Spotless if no one's going to show up. Carlton v West Coast at Marvel, Freo v Sydney at Optus, Essendon v Bulldogs, and Brisbane v Geelong. We head to round 20, so 5 more rounds to go. We've got the second game at Mars. It would be cool if the Saints play there, but I just don't think that'll happen. They play against state teams anyway, so the Dogs play the Giants at Mars, which is quite a unique matchup, to be honest. It's the first time the Giants are playing at Mars. Hawks play the Saints again at Marvel as a Hawks home game. Well, there you go. I'll take that as a Saints fan. I don't know why Hawthorn are getting their home game against St Kilda at Marvel. Geelong v Freo again at GMHBA. Another Collingwood v Carlton clash. Adelaide v Port. So this is going to be an interesting round. We've got a couple of marquee matchups there. And Essendon and Sydney, they always play at the MCG. They never play at Marvel. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Round 21, we've got the Bulldogs and the Tigers. The Saints play the Blues for the second time. I remember the previous matchup between the two sides. North played Melbourne at Blundstone. Hawthorn played Collingwood. GWS played Sydney at Giants. Geelong played Port. Freo, Brisbane, Essendon, West Coast, and Adelaide, Gold Coast. Not much to see there. We play the Tigers in what I'd assume would be Matty's match. West Coast v Freo, another derby. Sydney v Gold Coast, Port v Giants, North v Essendon, Hawks v Dogs at UTAS. That always seems to happen every time late into the season. Hawthorn play the Dogs for whatever reason at UTAS. Collingwood v Geelong, that'll be another massive clash. And Carlton and Melbourne as well. Round 23, we've got St Kilda and Geelong at Marvel. Okay, I was going to say, have we played Geelong already? Well, no, we haven't, so we won't play them twice, which is good. Collingwood play Brisbane. Gold Coast play Carlton. Melbourne, Hawthorn, Richmond, North. GWS v Essendon, Freo v Port, and Adelaide v Sydney. And the final round, this is what could make or break, certain sides making to the finals or not with the final round. Why in the crap do we play Brisbane at the Gabba? That sucks. That honestly sucks that we play the Lions twice. And at the Gabba, we're definitely not winning that one for the last round of the season. North v Gold Coast, Geelong v Bulldogs. That could be an interesting game. Sydney v Melbourne, that'll make or break a couple of games. Same with Port and Richmond, I believe. And Essendon v Collingwood, you never know what might happen in that clash as well. So there we go. Those were all the rounds for the new 2023 AFL fixture. Hopefully I can be the first person on YouTube to break the news. I'll be straight onto this one in terms of getting the video out as soon as I possibly can. But anyways, guys, that was the end of the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know down below what fixtures you're looking forward to most. And yes, I'll be planning on going to as many in-state games as I can next year, because it's just fun traveling, to be honest, to watch the Saints play, even if we do shit. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching the video, and we'll see you soon in the next one.